What's good, YouTube? It's your boy 2K and I'm back hitting you front side with another one. Now this shit right here, a lot of motherfuckers been asking me for months. Hey yo 2K man, we gonna get on the super flyweight, you know what I'm saying? Come on now, y'all know me better than that. Y'all know goddamn well I wasn't gonna let a card like this pass by without me getting on this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the best cards this motherfucking year. First things first, shout out to the people in Houston. As you all know, Texas underwent a tragedy with the hurricane that hit. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of people out in Houston. We've been dealing with that. Shout out to them for having to pick up the pieces and being forced to hit a hard reset on their lives. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Alright. Now, September 9th, you know what I'm saying? We got 2 pound-for-pound fighters. And I believe, what, 4 of the best fighters at 115 pounds about to get in the ring and mix it up. 3 different fights. Also, Brian Valoria is on the card, but I ain't even gonna talk about that nigga. You know what I'm saying? He good and shit. He's a former champion. Respect to him. But it's just kind of disrespectful to mention his name with the rest of these fighters. You know what I'm saying? I think he's like the first fight on the card. I'm not sure. But of course, you got Naoya Inoue coming back to the ring, his American debut against Antonio Nieves. We got Carlos Cuadras versus Juan Estrada, which is probably the best fight on the card. And then, of course, you got Gonzalez in a rematch trying to avenge his only loss against Srisaket Rungvisai, a.k.a. Wasaksu Wangek. Hell yeah! I said both his motherfucking names right. Word up. Nah, but yeah, that's going to be that rematch in the main event. And that's going to be I wouldn't say a make or break fight for Gonzalez, but it is very important that he wins that fight. You know, the little guys don't get a lot of looks. And Gonzalez was at one point in time pound for pound #1. And he underwent a lot of scrutiny taking that particular position over the likes of, you know, Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, Rigo, Triple G, Canelo, etc. Right? So if he loses this fight, I can see a lot of motherfuckers like, see, I told you. Matter of fact, motherfuckers is already doing it when he lost the first time. I told you this motherfucker wasn't #1 pound for pound. If he loses to the same cat again, those same people might just damn well write him off. You know what I'm saying? So this is probably a necessary win for Gonzalez. He really needs this fight. You know what I'm saying? Let's start with Inoue versus Nieves. Now, Naoya Inoue, he's 13-0 with 11 knockouts. He's pound for pound #10. And at 115 pounds, he is the #1 motherfucker there. He's a 2-time champion, 1 belt at 108 pounds, his 2nd belt at 115, where he resides today, right? Little tidbit on him. Naoya Inoue has a younger brother by the name of Takuma Inoue. He's also undefeated. He's 9-0 with 2 knockouts, and he campaigns at 118 pounds. Doesn't have the power of his older brother, Naoya, but he's still a sensational talent down at the lower weight. So take a look at him if you got an opportunity to, right? Now, Inoue is the baddest motherfucker of all the little guys. You know what I'm saying? That includes knockout CP Freshmart at 105 pounds. That includes Wanghan Miniyothan at 105 pounds, who's closing in on 49-0. I think he's 48-0 right now, but he just fought a bum to get that. He's fought more than a couple of bums. You know what I'm saying? Padded his record. And a lot of cats want to see him against knockout CP Freshmart. Both of those guys are being promoted by a Thai promoter by the name of Diamond Boxing Promotions. So that particular entity is doing a great job keeping those 2 fighters away from each other. But he's better than all them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And to be quite honest, I feel it's highly disrespectful of Ring Magazine to only have this motherfucker at 10. You know what I'm saying? I got him top 5 pound for pound on my list. Word up. Now, one thing I do criticize Inoue for is that he needs to pick up his competition. His last 4 fights outside of Kohei Kano, even though Kano was coming off a loss against Luis Concepcion, he hasn't really fought top level competition. His competition has been, you know, questionable. You know what I'm saying? David Carmona, who was actually Carlos Cuadras' last fight, right before he's getting ready to step in the ring this Saturday. Karun Jarupian Lurd. Now, I'm pretty knowledgeable about the little guys, but I didn't even know who the fuck a Jarupian Lurd was. You know what I'm saying? So, he's fighting some questionable cats. I think his last fight was a nigga named Ricardo Rodriguez. So I really need him to pick up this competition. You know what I'm saying? If my list will be credible, having him top 5 pound for pound. I can't have him fighting, another Antonio Nieves next. Now, I really believe the reason why he's doing it is because he's truly waiting on that fight with Roman Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? He's been wanting that shit for a while now. He was expecting to get it after Roman beat Carlos Cuadras, but he didn't get it, right? So I think he's kind of staying busy until he gets that fight. But nevertheless, he still needs to up his competition. All right. Keys to victory for Naoya. Beat a monster. Antonio Nieves ain't got shit for you, dog. Word life. Let's go to Nieves. All right. He's 17-1, 2 draws, 9 knockouts. Now, he's the number 3 bantamweight. Yes, this is the super flyweight division he's fighting in. But he's ranked the number 3 bantamweight. Not by Ring Magazine. Ring Magazine don't even know who the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? He's not top 10. But he's ranked number 3 by BoxRec. And now that doesn't really say too much, because BoxRec is the same entity that has Canelo Alvarez ranked number 1 pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell how credible those motherfuckers are with their rankings. But a little tidbit on Nieves. This is his first fight at 115 pounds. He's actually moving down in weight. He has fought as high as 126, which is the featherweight division, right? Gary Russell Jr., Oscar Valdez, Leo Santa Cruz, Carl Frampton, etc. They're all at 126. So he's going down to 115, and his first fight is against the baddest motherfucker of all the little guys, dog. Keys to victory. Man, hope for the best, my nigga. Word life. Can't put it any more straight up and down like that. Word up. Let's move to the next fight. Oh yeah, let me give my prediction. I got Naoya and Inoue. What I think is gonna happen is Antonio Nieves, he's an alright boxer, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna do anything Naoya has never seen before. You know what I'm saying? I really believe this was a good matchup for Naoya to look great in on his first time on American soil. I expect this card to be watched by a lot of boxing fans, a lot of boxing enthusiasts. It's going to be on television, so I expect some casuals to come in and check it out. If they get a chance to see this fight, I believe they will see how good Naoya Inoue really is. Now, I mean, it's not going to be deceptive because, Inoue has knocked out, greats at the lower weight class, and Omar Narvaez is obviously a great at the lower weight classes. And, Naoya Inoue dispatched him in 2 rounds, being the only guy to knock him out. You know what I'm saying? So, if he knocks out Nieves, it's not deceptive. His skill is actually there, and it's being put on display in front of all these fans, right? So, it was a good matchup for his promoter to pick this guy. I think Nieves will come in. Naoya will work the jitters off of being under the bright lights in America. Maybe he won't have much jitters. A lot of people don't understand that in Japan, boxing is huge. They hold boxing to a very high standard, and Naoya Inoue is one of the most popular Japanese fighters out there. So he's been under the big bright lights over in Tokyo plenty of times. So I don't expect him to be, affected too much here, being in America. But still, it's different soil. We're all human. There's a possibility he could be a little affected. So he'll work the jitters off first couple of rounds, and then maybe round 4 or 5, he'll knock this cat out. So I got Naoya Inoue by knockout. All right, let's move to the next fight. We got Carlos Cuadras versus Juan Francisco Estrada. Now, this fight right here is the best fight on the card, hands down. All right. Estrada, he's 35-2 with 25 knockouts. His 2 losses coming from Roman Gonzalez and Juan Carlos Salgado. Okay, he's a 2-time flyweight champion. Right now, he's currently ranked number 5 at 115 pounds. Now, when Estrada lost to Roman Gonzalez, it was at 108 pounds, which is light flyweight, right? The judges thought it was a clear win for Roman Gonzalez. A lot of the boxing pundits who actually paid attention to the fight, or went back and watched the fight on YouTube, whatnot, they felt the fight was closer. You got two guys who were very aggressive. A lot of punches were flying. A lot of shots were landing on both sides. The judges, I think two judges had it 116, 112 for Gonzalez. Another one had it 118, 110. The thing with me is that you had two alpha males in the ring, and one was the superior alpha male, and that's Roman Gonzalez. I felt the 118, 110 scorecard was a little wide. I had no problem with 116, 112 for Roman. I thought he did win that fight. I can spare around, make it 115, 113, but I did not, under any circumstance, believe Estrada won that fight. Roman won that fight hands down. All right, since then, Estrada has been chasing Roman Gonzalez. He is vowing to get revenge. He's been vocal about it plenty of times in the boxing media, right? Especially in the Spanish boxing media. He followed Roman from 108 to 112 and then from 112 to 115, destroying every motherfucker in his path. I think he's like, if I'm not mistaken, he's 8-0 or 9-0 since losing to Roman Gonzalez, right? So he's not, this motherfucker's not playing. He wants his get back. You know what I'm saying? He felt the fight was a little closer against Roman. He wants that get back. He wants that opportunity to show these motherfuckers that he can actually beat Roman Gonzalez, right? Now, you get the picture. There's some bread on Roman's head, dog. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker got a bounty on his head, dog. You got Naoya, the monster. He wants some of that ass. No homo. And then you got motherfucking Juan Francisco Estrada who want that get back. You know what I'm saying? So there's a bounty on Roman's head right now. So if he beats Rungvisai, he's got to worry about these two motherfuckers if they end up winning their respective fights, right? So there's some good fights on the horizon for Roman Gonzalez, but also some very challenging ones, right? So keys to victory for Estrada. Matter of fact, before I do that, let me talk a little bit about who he's beaten. And the route to chasing Roman Gonzalez, he's beaten Brian Valoria, who I just said a few minutes ago is on this card, right? He's beaten Giovanni Segura. He's beaten Hernan Marquez, Milan Melindo. He's beaten a lot of credible names. So like I said, he's not fucking around. He wants that get back. Let me get to the keys to victory. Keep the pressure on full throttle against Carlos Cuadras. It looks good to the judges. To the judges, that will always give you points for effective aggression, right? Plus, Cuadras can get caught in a firefight. When I get into Cuadras, one thing that I will mention is that in his last fight, he fought a phone booth type of fight. You know what I'm saying? If Estrada's watched film against Cuadras' fight against David Carmona, then he should be licking his motherfucking chops. That's exactly the type of fight that Estrada would want against a guy like Cuadras, right? So keep the pressure on full throttle. Cut the ring off and take advantage of Cuadras on the ropes. Now, when Cuadras likes to box, which is what he did against Roman Gonzalez, pretty much every fight leading up to Roman Gonzalez, he's semi-aggressive. He'll mix it up in the ring, but for the most part, he likes to fight off his back foot. So when he's doing that, at times he'll back into the ropes. And what he likes to do, what I notice about Cuadras, he likes to spin to his left. So when his back touches the ropes, he almost always spins to his left, which will spin right into Juan Francisco Estrada's power hand, right, his right side. What Estrada should do, if Cuadras elects to fight off his back foot, when he gets him on the ropes, I want you to step to the right and throw a right hook up top. You know what I'm saying? Step to the right will cut the ring off, not allow him to spin, and it'll trap him on the ropes, and you get off a right hook. He'll be trying to spin, but then he'll run into you and be like, oh shit, and his guard is down at that point. Fire off a right hook. I guarantee you that shit will land. You know what I'm saying? Watch how Cuadras throws his right hook on the inside. Now, against David Carmona, Carmona was doing a good job trying to counter Carlos Cuadras on the inside when he would throw that right hook. Well, what happened was Cuadras is kind of wide with it. You know what I'm saying? A couple of times in that Carmona fight, he swung and missed, and motherfucker was left off balance. One time, it was early in the fight. I think it was like round 3 or 4. I can't remember. Motherfucker swung with a left hook, completely missed David Carmona. Carmona stepped back, and Carlos Cuadras like stumbled across the ring. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you how wide and how his hooks don't have a lot of technique in them. They don't have the right technique. You know what I'm saying? If he's going to throw that wide-ass hook in a phone booth type of fight, which is what he did against David Carmona, Carmona would dip right and then come up top with a left hook. And he would land that shit almost every single time. What I want Juan Francisco Estrada to do in the same scenario is not dip right and throw the left hook. Estrada has some excellent uppercuts when he's fighting on the inside. He gets in close, he'll put his head in his opponent's chest, then you'll see him kind of step back a little bit, dip to the right, and he'll swing up with a right uppercut. Then he usually follows with another uppercut, left uppercut. Beautiful combination. This is what I want him to do when Carlos Cuadras throws that wide-ass hook. Understand, your close, compact punches are always going to be faster than a wide punch from the outside. You see what I'm saying? So all Juan Francisco Estrada's got to do is, if he gets close enough, which I think he might based on Cuadras' last fight, Cuadras throws that wide hook. I want Estrada to catch that shit with his left glove, step to the right, or dip to the right, excuse me, come up with a right uppercut. You'll land it every single time because Cuadras is going to be wide the fuck open. If he tries to block that with his left glove, immediately come with another uppercut from the left side, a left uppercut. You're gonna get one of those 2 punches in because he's still left wide open. Okay. Let's get to Cuadras. Now, this is a bad motherfucker too, though. You know what I'm saying? I really like Carlos Cuadras. I thought he won against Roman Gonzalez. Now, that fight could have gone either way. 115-113 is a fine scorecard by me. 116-112 for Roman. That's kind of teetering, you know what I'm saying, on the edge. You know what I mean? You getting ready to fall off the cliff, dog. You know what I'm saying? That fight was very, very close. But I'll accept it. But I had to fight 115-113 for Carlos Cuadras, but I was not upset with Roman Gonzalez taking the victory. But this is a bad motherfucker when he's doing the right shit. He's 36-1. Of course, his one loss to Roman Gonzalez, has 1 draw, 27 knockouts. Now, at 115 pounds, he's ranked number 4. Okay, he is the former WBC Flyweight champion before losing to Roman Gonzalez. He had 5 title defenses. Okay. Now, tidbit on him. He lost to highly touted UK 135 contender Joe Murray. If you don't know him, look him up. He lost to WBO 126-pound champion Oscar Valdez. And he would have gotten his motherfucking jaw collected as he was scheduled to face Guillermo Rigondeaux in the 2007 Pan American Games. But Rigo defected to the U.S. to turn professional with Erislandy Lara. Therefore, he was disqualified for that particular amateur bout. And Carlos Cuadras went ahead and fought somebody else. So he had some pretty deep amateur background. Fought some good guys who've gone on to be very competitive fighters in the pros. He also fought a guy by the name of Roberto Marquin. If you don't know who he is, he fought Guillermo Rigondeaux before Rigo fought Nonito Donaire. And he actually had some good moments in that fight. He stunned Rigo Donaire one time in that fight. Now, of course, Rigo went ahead and collected that nigga's jaw, dropped him and everything, you know what I'm saying? But Marquin is no whack-ass fighter. He also fought him. I think he defeated him as an amateur as well. But anyway, Cuadras won his last fight, as I mentioned, against David Carmona. But I didn't like the way he fought that fight. As I mentioned when I gave the keys to victory for Estrada, he fought that fight in a phone booth type of way. You know what I'm saying? Which gave Carmona opportunities to get off shots on the inside. He also was kind of boxing Carlos Cuadras a little bit, which was surprising because Cuadras is by far the superior boxer. That's really his style. You know what I'm saying? While I was watching the Carmona fight, I saw shades of Sergio Martinez a little bit. You know, Sergio, of course, he was a southpaw, and he bounced. You know what I'm saying? He would have a little bounce, but he'd have his hands down and shit. And he liked to be mid-range to close distance. You know what I'm saying? That's what I saw with Cuadras. He didn't really have the same kind of bounce as Sergio Martinez, but he had the same kind of lunging shots. You know, he would kind of lunge with a hook to the body, lunge to the hook to the head. He'd even lunge with his jab, you know what I'm saying? And then step back. He'd bounce back, but he'd still be in mid-range distance. And it would allow David Carmona to land a jab or follow-up, you know, straight right hand if he's coming over the top of something that Cuadras drew through, because he kept his hands down. You know what I'm saying? The Cuadras I'm used to seeing is the guy that moves around the fucking ring, throws combinations and bunches, and keeps it fucking moving. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy that I expect to come into the fight with Estrada if he wants to win. All right, that's gonna lead me to my keys to victory for him. Box, motherfucker. Box, dog. Don't get into a phone booth type of fight with Estrada. It is 100% dangerous, dog. I mean, if you're looking for some street credit or some shit, you want niggas to think you not a bitch, hey, by all means do so, but you might end up being the bitch at the end of the night. Play it safe. Box. Stay on the outside. Keep your jab in this motherfucker's stomach. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you jab to the body on an aggressive fighter, it always makes them reset. You see what I'm saying? A jab to the solar plexus, it's such a, this is such an underrated technique. I don't even see a lot of trainers telling their fighters, hey, you know, jab to the body. When you jab a nigga to the solar plexus, it takes the wind out of them. You know what I'm saying? So if you got an aggressive fighter coming forward and you give him that jab to the solar plexus and you move back, he's gonna have to reset because you just took the wind out of his sails. You see what I'm saying? He can't move with effective aggression because he had to walk into a shot to the stomach. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, I don't give a fuck who it is, nobody likes it to the body. You feel me? So if you are fighting a guy like Estrada, right, who's gonna keep coming forward, jab to the body, use shit, fuck it, use the jab straight right combination to the body, you know what I'm saying? Keep his ass at bay and keep fucking moving. You know what I'm saying? Also, elect to be on your back foot, dog. Understand that I said that if he decides to fight this kind of fight against Estrada, he ends up with his back on the ropes. And I said Estrada should cut the ring off, right? Step to his right, because Carlos Cuadras likes to spin to his left off the ropes. Fight on your back foot, but make sure the fight stays in the middle of the ring. That way you can keep the aggressive fighter at bay. That's how you do that shit. That's how Floyd at points, when he's not on the ropes, he will keep the fight in the middle of the ring. You know what I'm saying? Erislandy Lara, another guy, when he's not on the ropes, mind you, when they're not on the ropes, people, they will keep the fight in the middle of the ring. Miguel Vasquez, another great boxer, another great mover. When he's not on the ropes, and he really doesn't even use the ropes that much, he keeps the fight in the middle of the ring. That's how you're going to have to fight Juan Francisco Estrada. Keep the fight in the middle of the ring. Stay on your back foot. Keep it moving. You do have the stamina. I don't see you getting tired much in your fights. So keep it fucking moving. Ring off combinations and keep it moving. Be the old Carlos Cuadras, the one that that was beating up everybody before you fought Roman Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? Lastly, take advantage of Estrada's one-dimensional style. You know what I'm saying? And as I said, mix up your combination punching while moving. And Estrada's last fight against Anwar Salas, I think it was the third round, the beginning of the third round. Yeah, the beginning of the third round. He was in control because he was boxing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if a lot of people saw this shit or not, but I did. Salas was dictating the pace beautifully for about a minute of the third round. You know what I'm saying? The beginning of the third round. He stayed on the outside. He was boxing him. You know what I'm saying? He would throw, like, he was actually throwing a jab to the body and was making Estrada reset. That's number one. Then he would throw this combination. It would be a jab. Then he'd throw it straight. Then he'd come back with a left hook, all from the outside. and all 3 of those punches would land on Estrada, and Estrada with the left hook would land, he would move back. He would kind of get knocked backwards, and then he had to fucking reset. Now, I seen Gonzalez land that particular combination maybe 2 or 3 times in the fight before he got knocked out in the 5th round, right? But when he did that, it always made Estrada reset. After that first minute of the 3rd round, you know, he doesn't have the mental capacity to keep doing what he's doing. He allows his opponent's will, his strength, his ability to bully the other fighter, take over his ability to think and to execute the right game plan in the ring. So he lost the ring generalship battle. That's when he started getting bullied by Juan Francisco Estrada, and Estrada ended up winning the fucking round. But that first minute, if Carlos Cuadras is watching tape and he ends up watching this fight, watch the first minute of the 3rd round, he will see that boxing Estrada is the key to victory. Estrada can be outboxed if you keep a jab in the solar plexus and you keep it fucking moving. This could potentially be a very, I wouldn't say, it could be a one-sided fight for Carlos Cuadras if he fights the way he fought before he fought Roman. Now, I'm not saying Roman took something out of Carlos, but maybe he did take something out of Carlos. You know what I'm saying? Because before that, motherfucker was a superior boxer, ringing combinations like crazy, moving all around the ring. You couldn't catch this Speedy Gonzalez motherfucker, right? But after Roman against David, well, he's sitting in the pocket. You know, he's fighting a phone booth fight. He's getting hit by punches he shouldn't get hit by a guy that he probably should have, you know, beat the fuck out of. I don't think anybody's ever knocked out Carmona, and that includes Naoya Inoue, who fought him earlier in his career. That fight went all 12 rounds, right? But still, he should have beat the shit out of Carmona. And it kind of looked like he was going for the knockout against Carmona for some reason, like he had something to prove. And maybe it was because this fight was on pay-per-view, because it was on the undercard of Gennady Golovkin versus Daniel Jacobs. Maybe he had something to prove there. I don't fucking know, but he just fought the completely wrong fight. If he goes into this fight being the old Carlos Cuadras, I could see him winning 116-112. Now for my prediction, yo, I said on the podcast we did last Sunday, actually, my breakdowns are totally different for all these fights from what I said on the podcast we did last Sunday. I had Estrada winning 116-112 on there. I also picked him previous to the podcast. Man, I'm going to have to change my shit. I'm going to have to go out on a limb, because I'm looking at how Estrada is really one-dimensional. He fights in similar fashion as Roman Gonzalez, but he doesn't have the footwork, the same type of footwork Roman has. Roman has deceptively quick footwork. A lot of people don't talk about Roman's footwork. He can move from side to side. He can cut the ring off very well. If you get caught on the ropes, that motherfucker will make sure you stay there. You know what I'm saying? And he will rip shots to the body. But I don't think he has the footwork of Roman. I don't think he has the same body work as Roman. You know, Estrada goes to the body very well, but I don't think it's the same as Roman. I don't think he can dictate the pace of a fight against a masterclass boxer such as Carlos Cuadras, like Roman. You know, a lot of people thought Roman did. You know what I'm saying? I feel Carlos has already fought a better guy and looked good against that better guy. That has the same style as Estrada. The only thing is, he has to be the Carlos who fought before Roman. I'll say it for the 15th fucking time. And I'm going to put my money on that. I'm going to go with Carlos Cuadras by split decision. Alright? Let's go to the main event before we conclude this motherfucker. We got Roman Gonzalez versus Srisaket or Rungvisai. Right? Now, Gonzalez, formerly known as the #1 pound-for-pound guy, was knocked off his throne months prior to this rematch, losing to Rungvisai by, I believe, majority decision, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not looking at a box record or anything like that right now. That pretty much knocked him down to #4 pound-for-pound and ranked #3 at 115 pounds. He's 46-1. with 38 knockouts. He's a 4-time champion from minimum weight, which is 105 pounds, all the way to 115 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Now, he is the protege of Hall of Famer and generally known as the best super featherweight ever, as well as the best Nicaraguan fighter ever, Alexis Arguello. Now, you dumb motherfuckers don't know who Alexis Arguello is. You know what I'm saying? He's the cat that's known for having those 2 great classic fights with Aaron Pryor. Both fights he was knocked out in, but they were classics. There's some controversy surrounding that fight since those fights since Aaron Pryor, his trainer was Panama Lewis. Panama Lewis, of course, was known to have loaded the raps of Louis Resto. I can't remember the cat he fought. YouTube help me out on that one. But Louis Resto fought a prospect. His name was like Jimmy or some shit like that. I can't remember his fucking name right off the top. But he ended up beating the shit out of him. Louis Resto was like a journeyman. Nigga had like, 20 losses and shit. I'm exaggerating, but he was a journeyman. Beat the shit out of this white boy. Billy Collins. That was his name. Billy Collins. Beat the shit out of Billy Collins. Won the fight. Billy Collins ultimately, distraught from that loss, commits suicide. So they found out Louis Resto's hand wraps were loaded. He was suspended from boxing for life. Panama Lewis was 100% responsible for that. Louis Resto knew about it. Panama Lewis to this day, he still fucking denies any type of involvement in that. And then also he had the controversy with putting something in the water, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, of Aaron Pryor's water bottle, which it was a banned substance. He went out there and beat Alexis Arguello. But before those 2 losses, Arguello was already a well-known super featherweight. You know what I'm saying? He had already established himself. Those 2 fights were at the tail end of his career. Now, Gonzalez and Rungvisai, they share a common opponent. That's none other than the guy I just finished talking about, Carlos Cuadras, right? Now, Rungvisai was, during that fight, the current WBC 115-pound champion. There was a clash of heads in that fight, a cut over Cuadras' eye, which ended up stopping the fight in the 8th round. So they went to the judges' scorecards, and Carlos Cuadras was winning on all 3 scorecards. I think 2 scorecards he was up 2 points, and 1 he was up 3 points. So he ended up winning the title off Rungvisai. Also, one thing that I heard in the media that Roman kept talking about that to me was kind of shocking was that he said he was going to go for the knockout. Now, in my opinion, isn't that what the fuck you did in the first fight, dog? You don't have a style that tells a boxing enthusiast or a analyst, a boxing analyst, that you don't ever not go for the knockout, right? Your style is tailor-made for going for the knockout, right? You apply relentless pressure. You break your opponent down until the motherfucker don't want to fight anymore. So why is it that you're saying you're going to go for the knockout when you tried that in the first fight and you ended up losing? Now, a lot of motherfuckers tried to say, oh, Roman was robbed. Absolutely not. I had Rungvisai up by 1 point. I thought the judges had the fucking decision correct. You know what I'm saying? Rungvisai did everything he needed to do to win that fight, which really wasn't that much. He was just the bigger guy, right? And he won the fucking fight. Roman Gonzalez tried to bully him like he bullied everybody else under 115 pounds, and it didn't work against this guy. To be honest with you, it didn't really work against Carlos Cuadras. A lot of people like to say, well, Roman Gonzalez had Cuadras on his back foot. No, motherfucker. Cuadras likes to fight off his back foot. Roman had some responsibility in doing that, or some credit in doing that. But at the end of the day, Cuadras elects to be on his back foot. So you can't give 100% credit to Roman Gonzalez for him being on his back foot. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus, you know, I don't go by CompuBox ever. CompuBox is skewed. You can't trust it. It's unreliable. That's why judges don't look at CompuBox when they score rounds or they score a fight, right? CompuBox is for pure viewer consumption. You know what I'm saying? But they say Roman landed a bunch more punches on Carlos Cuadras. But Cuadras, his face looked like he just came out the club and shit, macking a couple bitches. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Roman Gonzalez's face looked like the shit got hit by 2 baseball bats, not 1, 2, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Now, that is a testament to the fact that he's too small for 115. All right. Now, he screeched by in that fight, but Rungvisai got in the ring and said, I'm going to show you why you too small, dog. I'm going to show you why your face looked the way it looked against Carlos Cuadras, even though you landed way more punches. You're too small, and I'm a bully you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a bad strategy for Roman Gonzalez. Now, this is the kicker, though. There's not much Roman can do because he hasn't honed the skills he needed to hone whenever you move up in weight. And that one big global skill, of course there's a lot of sub skills, but the one big global skill you need to hone when you move up in weight is your defense. Floyd Mayweather went from being a highly offensive fighter who still had great defense, but he was knocking motherfuckers out, to a pure defensive 1 to 3 punch counter punching motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And part of that was because of his hands were brittle. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have the durability in his hands to be able to knock motherfuckers out like he did at 130, 135, right? But at 147, 154, he knew that moving up in weight, he had to become a better defensive fighter because those guys are much bigger than him. They're going to come into the ring fight night much bigger than him, which the majority of them did. Motherfuckers will outweigh Floyd by like 15, 20 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And that shit was normal, right? Floyd would rehydrate like 2 fucking pounds for his fight. You know what I'm saying? So he knew those guys were going to be much bigger, so he had to keep from being hit by those guys flush. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with Roman. You're moving up from 105 to 115. You have to learn how to hone your defensive skills so you don't get hit as much by these bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? Keys to victory for Roman. As I just stated, do not look for the fucking KO, man. You tried that the first time. I believe you will fail this time. As I just mentioned, hopefully, you know, you worked on how to be a little more defensive. Be aggressive, be that aggressive guy, but be a little bit more wary of the ammunition that Rungvisai is firing back on you. You know what I'm saying? Move your head, dog. Like, you keep your fucking head right there for niggas to pop it. You know what I'm saying? You got pretty good footwork. You know what I'm saying? I think you have underrated footwork, but you use that footwork purely for you know, to better your offense. How about using it to better your defense a little bit more? You know what I'm saying? Lastly, this is gonna shock y'all. Show up. As long as you stay competitive, the fight is in the bag. That right there is what I truly believe. Now, since there was kind of a outcry from the first fight, right? A lot of people thought Roman Gonzalez was robbed. I believe the judges will give this fight to Roman Gonzalez if it is equally competitive. Meaning if it gets to the point where there's a possibility that there could be a majority decision, another majority decision, it is not going to Rungvisai. And actually, I could see the scorecards being a little skewed in a fight where we thought was really close, could have been a majority or split decision. I can see it being a unanimous decision for Roman Gonzalez. So really all he has to do is not get dominated, show up, you know, stay aggressive. I really would like you to work on your defense. Hopefully you did that in your training camp, because after this fight, as I mentioned earlier, you got a motherfucking bounty on your head, dog. Juan Francisco Estrada, if he beats Carlos Cuadras, hell, even fucking Carlos Cuadras wants the rematch. If he beats Estrada, he's gonna want you again. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, the monster, Naoya Inoue, he wants your ass. He been wanting your ass for the last 4 fights. You know what I'm saying? So you got 3 big dog motherfuckers at 115 that are trying to bite you right now, dog. You know what I'm saying? So you have to work on your defensive abilities, dog. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to Rungvisai. As I stated earlier, he was the former WBC 115-pound champion. Of course, he lost it. Technical decision to Carlos Cuadras. He's 43-4 with 1 draw, has 39 knockouts. Now, a little tidbit on him. He lost his first 2 professional fights by knockout. So that tells you that Rungvisai was never on this track to be the type of fighter that he is today, or to be respected as the kind of fighter he is today. That's a better way to put it, right? He's currently ranked #2 at 115 pounds, and that's purely based off of his win against the #1 pound-for-pound guy, Roman Gonzalez, right? So they moved him from probably, I don't remember where he was before. He was either off the list or maybe at like number 10 or 9 or some shit. They moved him from there all the way to #2 for that win. So he was never really seen by, you know, based on losing your first 2 fights by knockout. Motherfuckers gonna be like, oh shit, he's just gonna be another journeyman. That's gonna be automatic. You know what I'm saying? But he has reinvigorated his career. He turned it around, started winning fights. You know, he fought primarily in Thailand. A lot of motherfuckers nobody knows. I think he had 3 fights in Japan, including his first 2 fights that he lost. They were in Japan. Then he had another one in Japan. Then the rest of them were in fucking Thailand, up to the point where he fought Carlos Cuadras, right? And then after Cuadras, he fought some more in Thailand, and then he fought Roman Gonzalez in the United States. So, like I said, he was never seen as a guy that would have ever been ranked this high, would have ever been talked about as beating a elite fighter. He's supposed to lose to all the elite fighters in his respective division, but he won the fight of his life, you know what I'm saying, in his first fight. And I expect him to come out here and do whatever it takes to keep the status that he has, right? To show that that first fight was not a fluke, it wasn't a robbery. Motherfucker won fair and square. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the keys to victory with him. Don't change anything from the first fight. Be the alpha male you were the first time. Now, again, just like I said with the Roman Gonzalez versus Juan Francisco Estrada, that was a fight between 2 alpha males. The same thing with the Rungvisai fight. A fight between 2 alpha males. The difference here is that one of the alpha males was a bit too small. So Rungvisai, a guy who's a basic fighter, no head movement, slow ass footwork, slow to moderate hand speed. You know what I'm saying? Not a very smart fighter. He just goes out there and fights. He was bullying Roman Gonzalez because Roman Gonzalez thought he could bully him, right? So with him thinking that he could bully the bigger guy, Rungvisai's like, oh shit, nigga, hey, get your little ass over here, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's like a little kid trying to run up on a grown man and shit and stay in the pocket. Well, that grown man is just gonna body this little motherfucker. And that's exactly what Rungvisai did. You know what I'm saying? So do the same shit. Roman Gonzalez already said he's gonna go to look for the knockout. Well, that's exactly how he fought in the first fight. So if he's gonna do the same shit he did in the first fight, then you should do the same shit you did in the first fight. My only thing is, make sure you do not react to anything he lands and try not to get caught off balance. A couple of times in the first fight, Roman would land some shots, you reacted as if you were hurt, or you reacted as if it knocked you off your game plan. You had to reset a bit. You can't do any of that shit in this fight, dog. Like I said, all Roman has to do is show up. If he shows up, it's a competitive fight. The fight's in the bag for him. Now, Roman, of course, was pretty much his whole tenure as pound-for-pound #1. He was co-promoted by Golden Boy Promotions, but his primary promoter was Tekken Promotions, right? I think in this first fight, that's when K2 took over. I think K2 started promoting him in the first fight. That's why he was on the Golovkin undercard. He was co-promoted by K2. You know, a lot of people felt the judges got it wrong. He's still co-promoted for this fight by K2, and his primary is still Tekken. I really believe, dog, that they will definitely give him the fight if it's close. So, Rungvisai, you got to be Iron Man in this bitch, dog. You got to act like nothing bothers you. You get hit, you got to walk right through that shit, nigga. You got to eat that shit like it's a chicken leg, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like it's some ribs and shit you got from the barbecue pit, son. You got to eat that shit, and you got to keep moving forward. Every punch this motherfucker lands, you got to make sure you answer back with something, anything. Be aggressive, effective aggression, clear punches. Those 2 things is what you need to show in this fight. All right? My prediction, as I said, I think the fight's in the bag for Roman Gonzalez. Rungvisai doesn't bring anything in the ring at an advanced skill level that will show me that he will create a divide in this fight between the two guys in terms of skill. Rungvisai is the type of fighter where if he fights an elite fight he fights a fight against an elite fighter, it will always be a close fight, right? Because he's so basic. So I predict this being another competitive fight. As I said, if it's competitive, they will give the fight to Roman Gonzalez, and that's how I think it will be. I got Roman Gonzalez winning 116-112. Quick rundown, I got Inoue winning by knockout before the 5th round against Antonio Nieves. I have Carlos Cuadras winning a very, very razor-thin, close split decision against Juan Estrada. And that fight could possibly be a fucking draw, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, I got Roman Gonzalez winning by unanimous decision, 116-112. Alright, that's the motherfucking thorough breakdown of the super flyweights, better than anybody on fucking YouTube. Do what you do in the comment section, be real. This is real talk for real fans. One.